Thanks for joining us on Nationwide today. I'm Elizabeth Omori with the news. We begin with security matters. President Muhammadu Buhari has promised to provide the desired leadership and support towards effectively addressing the prevailing challenges associated with reported mass surrender by terrorists and insurgents in the Northeast Theatre of Operations. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum of Borno State extracted the president's commitment at a strategic engagement on the new development, which he described as fulfilling and reassuring. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo will bring us details of this report in our subsequent bulletin. Search and rescue operations have been intensified to rescue the army officer abducted by bandits following their attack on Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna. NTA is yet to gain access to the scene of the incident, but let's join Sulaiman Abdurrahman in Kaduna for a live update. Sulaiman, thank you so much for joining us on Nationwide.
Elizabeth, and welcome to Kaduna.
Thank you so much. Could you give us an update?
All right. Well, generally, the situation right now is generally calm within the academy and neighboring communities. Information available to us revealed that the cadets are going about their normal academic activities as well as military training within the academy unhindered. Everywhere is safe. There is no any problem for now. And it is also instructive to note that this attack occurred at a residential area in the academy and leading to the death of 2 personnel as well as abduction of 1 by the bandits. And of course, the security personnel of 1 division Nigerian Army in collaboration with security personnel of the Air Training Command, Nigerian Air Force, are on top of the situation to track the perpetrators of this act. So hopes are high right now for the arrest of the perpetrators of this heinous act, as well as the rescue of the abducted personnel.
All right. Any eyewitness accounts to all of this?
Well, actually, right now where we are standing is meters away from the academy,
okay.
And our camera is not allowed into the academy, but the information available to us suggests that actually, the situation in there is very calm, and there's no any call for alarm. And that what we are informed is that hope is high for the rescue of this one that has been abducted, and also the tracking of the perpetrators. So right now there is no any eyewitness account, so to say. The only available information at our disposal is the release by the public relations officer of the academy in the person of Major Bashir Muhammad, who confirmed to us that really the attack occurred in the midnight, and actually the security agencies are not leaving anything to chance. They are on top of the situation to ensure the arrest of the perpetrators.
All right, Sulaiman, thank you so much for your contribution, and then we hope you get us more details later. Thank you so much.
Yes, and we now link you.
Now, moving on, the National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Monguno, is raising security concerns over emerging secessionist groups in Nigeria seeking alliance with similar groups in Cameroon to destabilize both countries. This was at the 8th session of the Cameroon-Nigeria Trans-Border Security Committee meeting holding in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
Nigeria and Cameroon share a common border spanning more than 2,000 kilometers that has for decades been bedeviled by different trans-border crimes. This is because of the porous nature of the border and vast ungoverned land in the area. To address these common security threats that have killed, displaced millions of people and property worth billions of naira destroyed, Nigeria and Cameroon in February 2012 established the Cameroon-Nigeria Trans-Border Security Committee.
His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari reassures you that Nigeria's territory will never be used as a haven or staging area by any group of secessionists to destabilize another friendly sovereign country. We will work closely together to ensure that any real or perceived challenge or attempt to form any alliances between secessionist groups in Nigeria and Cameroon are decisively dealt with.
Africa's peace and security is directly intertwined with good border governance and the attainment of sustainable development in the border areas.
I therefore use this opportunity to...
The head of the Cameroonian delegation to this session took time to commend Nigeria for its efforts in stabilizing the border area.
This improvement of the security situation in our border regions created an enabled environment that facilitated the voluntary and gradual return to Borno State of our brothers and sisters who took refuge in Cameroon, running away from attacks from terrorist group Boko Haram.
The seventh session of the meeting was held in 2019 in Yaoundé, Cameroon. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Still on security matters, former Chief of Defense Staff and Pro-Chancellor and Chairman, University of Calabar Governing Board, General Martin Luther Agai, is advocating various strategies to completely decimate insurgents in the country. General Agai stated this after a familiarization visit to the Cross River State government on measures to tackle security challenges at the University of Calabar. Paul Abel reports.
The word security may probably be one of the most commonly used lexicons in recent times in Nigeria at various levels due to numerous challenges. Therefore, it is not surprising to see the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman, University of Calabar Governing Council, leading a team to the Cross River State government, appealing for support in tackling insecurity and land encroachment issues in the university. Governor Ben Ayade, represented by his deputy, Professor Ivarais, who is delighted for the new Pro-Chancellor's visit, encourages him to bring his wealth of experience to bear, while the state government provides the necessary support for him to succeed.
The two things you have mentioned of concern, insecurity and encroachment, those are your baby. The last Security Council meeting we had, we resolved that we will set up a naval base at the University of Calabar.
Gradually, I believe, as a people, we will look at how to come up with another architecture of how to tackle these things, and we will start it in UNICAL with the support of His Excellency.
The chairman was accompanied on the visit by the Vice-Chancellor, University of Calabar, Professor Florence Banku Obi. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
In our continued efforts to improve the physical and mental fitness, combat ability and leadership qualities of officers and men of the Nigerian Army, the 82 Division has commenced the 2021 Inter-Brigade Combat Proficiency Competition. Ifoma Undu Okoli reports that the event has been hosted by the 14th Division.
In view of recent surge in security challenges in the country, the Nigerian Army has become increasingly engaged in combat operations across the country. The Inter-Brigade Combat Proficiency Competition, apart from promoting esprit de corps among participants, is also aimed at improving the leadership and organizational abilities of officers from the rank of second lieutenant to major.
There's a compelling need to continuously train to improve troops' physical and mental fitness, combat abilities, and leadership qualities, with a view to positioning them for all contingencies against emerging threats.
General Officer Commanding 82 Division noted that the Army and other security agencies, they are not overwhelmed and will not put down their guard.
The common trend in all these competitions is the emphasis on the physical and mental abilities of the participants with a view to reinforcing the overall combat preparedness of our troops.
Participants at the week-long event will compete in activities such as weapon handling, half cross-country, navigation, as well as combat swimming. From the 14th Brigade Headquarters, Ahafia, Ifoma Ndu Okoli, NTA News.
Still talking security, Taraba State Police Command has commended leaders of Fulani socio-cultural associations for their commitment to peace and security in the state. The commendation is coming as the Fulani ethnic group begins to fulfill the promise it made to the Emir of Muri during the last Eid el-Kabir. Adamu Aruna Adams reports that the group handed over some suspected kidnappers and cattle rustlers to the police as a kidnapped Nigerian custom officer regained freedom.
The custom officer Abbas Bello was abducted by suspected kidnappers Wednesday last week at his residence in Samunaka area of Jalingo Metropolis. Taraba State Police image maker, Deputy Superintendent of Police Abdullah Usman confirmed release of the abducted custom officer as communicated by family of the victim.
When there, I met with him. He is well. He is healthy. Arrest has not been done, but we are on top of yet to make sure that these people have been brought to book to face the wrath of the law.
Meanwhile, some suspected kidnappers in the state denounced kidnapping and other forms of criminality. The police public relations officer, DSP Abdullah Usman, said the suspected kidnappers voluntarily repented and submitted themselves during inauguration of leaders of a Fulani association in the state. DSP Usman appealed to people of Taraba State to cooperate with the police and other security agencies in the state, stressing that security is everyone's business. Since the charge by the Emir of Muri Abbas Njidata Fida during the last Eid el-Kabir celebration, communities in the state, particularly the state capital, Jalingo, have risen to the challenge to complement effort of security agencies. In Jalingo, Adamu Haruna Adams, NTA News.
Into our earlier story on Governor Zulum meeting President Buhari on terrorist surrendering, we now have visuals of that report.
In the last few weeks, terrorists and insurgents that have been killing and maiming innocent people as well as destroying their means of livelihood and other valuable property in Nigeria's northeast have been surrendering en masse. Governor Babagana Zulum, who was said to have survived dozens of attacks in the last 12 years, described the unfolding scenario as welcoming.
I'm in this business for the last 11, 12 years. I was attacked for more than 40, 50 times. I know the magnitude of this problem. More than 100,000 people were killed. I'm telling you, more than 100,000 orphans we have now. More than 100,000 widows we have now. And right now, the whereabouts of not less than 10% of people of Borno State is not known to all of us. And therefore, I'm in total support of this ongoing surrender. Is a very welcome development. Unless we want to continue with an endless war.
Governor Babagana Zulum is here in the State House to not only show appreciation to President Muhammadu Buhari for his genuine efforts at finding lasting solutions to the Boko Haram menace, but also strategize how best to address the humanitarian, emotional, and psychological issues resulting from the terrorist surrender.
It's not a small issue. Because we are not just saying that those that have surrendered shall be reintegrated into the society very soon. No. But mind you, among those that have surrendered, some are innocent that are possibly inscripted into this program. Some are teenagers below the age of 11, 12, but they can handle AK-47. And therefore, I think the best possible option for us to see that we resolve this issue, we want to see the involvement of the federal government in a large scale. The President has agreed to provide the leadership. We are going back to Maiduguri to have a wider consultations with the victims themselves, the traditional rulers, and the generality of the people of Borno State, the major stakeholders, including the Nigerian Army, the civilian JTF, and others, so that we can come up with far-reaching recommendations to ensure amicable resolution of this issue. And the Mr. President has given my humble self and the people of Borno State the assurances of his continued support in this direction.
Over 2,600 terrorists have so far surrendered, and the governor has made it clear that none of them will be given a dime, but treated according to extant rules and regulations, as well as international conventions. Killing the surrendering terrorists, he emphasized, is not an option, but victims will be adequately supported.
Those that their parents were killed, federal government and state government will help them.
From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide on NTA. Time now to take a break, and Nationwide will continue with Amina thereafter.
Since coming into office in 2015, the Buhari administration has recorded unprecedented achievements in all sectors, especially in the provision of infrastructure, which is the key to economic growth. Never in the history of this country has any other administration done so much with so little. I recall that when this administration came into office, the price of crude oil, which provides for 80% of Nigeria's budgetary revenues and 95% of foreign exchange earning, dropped drastically, thus reducing the amount of resources available to the federal government. In spite of this, the administration has continued apace with massive infrastructure developments.
This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Implementing the Petroleum Industry Act is our focus on NTA Tuesday Live. Expert brainstorm on the act. Join us on 24th of August 2021. Tuesday Live, every week at 10:30 p.m. It promises to be incisive and educative. Don't miss it.
Admission forms into NTA Television College JOS 2021-2022 two-year National Innovation Diploma Program are on sale from 9th of August to 29th of October 2021. Candidates who wish to apply for admission must have 5 O-level credits in relevant subjects including English language and mathematics. The courses available for application include film and television production, broadcast journalism, and television engineering technology. The admission forms can be obtained at NTA Television College or any NTA station nationwide at the cost of 7,500 naira only. Payment for the form is through remitter platform only in favor of NTA Television College. For more inquiries, please call 0803-079-5335 or 0806-980-9807. Management Announcer.
Firstly, safety. I will ensure that my family members and loved ones are safe.
I will try as much as possible not to get involved.
You should call the nearest police station.
I will alert my family, my friends, my neighbors in that vicinity that this is what is happening.
Who wins the star prize of 1 million naira in the ongoing Peace Nigeria Challenge, powered by Ask Nigeria, in partnership with National Council for Arts and Culture, NCAC, Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, and Star Times. Unity Challenge Nigeria, stronger together.
Fresh off a 5-0 thrashing by Manchester City, Norwich will welcome another Premier League champion in the form of Leicester City. Will they be able to save themselves from another humbling result? Find out this Saturday as Norwich City take on Leicester City from 2:30 p.m, showing on the network service of the NTA. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu and powered by Integral.
Kaduna State government, in its quest for lasting peace in southern Kaduna and by extension the entire state, has held a peace talk with critical stakeholders in Baju community, Zangonkatov local government area of the state. Haruna Mohammed reports that this is coming on the heels of the recent communal clash in the community.
Sleepy community, Baju in Zongonkatov local government area of Kaduna State, recently witnessed communal clash which led to the loss of lives and property. This high-powered delegation of the state government, led by the Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Arwan, is in the community for a strategic engagement with the district heads and other stakeholders with a view to providing solution and prevent further occurrence. The community leaders at the end of the engagement are happy with the peace initiative, promising to prevail on other members to allow peace reign supreme in the land.
There is no section of Nigeria that will do without one another. We have to respect one another. We have to respect cultures, religions, beliefs, ways of life of other Nigerians. We have to respect one another. And we are also appealing to our communities to know that no matter what, there is no way that we can live on our own. We need one another to live together. There is strength and development in diversity.
As spiritual leaders, that we will do all we could within our reach to enlighten our people, to inform our people, and to as well tell our people the truth of all that is going on.
By God's grace, the next time the commissioner is coming, it will be to congratulate us on peaceful coexistence.
This engagement is expected to be extended to other crisis-ridden communities in the states. In Kaduna, Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
The Nigeria Immigration Service has graduated 430 officers of the 46th Conversion and Upgrading course at the Immigration Training School, Kano. Controller General of the service, Muhammad Babandede, at the passing out parade emphasized the need for graduating officers to exhibit high sense of professionalism in the discharge of their responsibilities. Awal Salisu reports.
The upgrading course is one of the requirements for conversion into superintendent cadre in the Nigerian Immigration Service. Apart from the skills acquisition and training on ICT, the 430 graduates were exposed to a wide range of physical activities to ensure effective service delivery. Ahmed Bukar, one of the graduates, said the training has no doubt boosted their morale and enhanced productivity.
We are going to put it in practice wherever we are being posted to.
I will infect the changes positively to the improvement towards the service.
Comptroller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service, Muhammad Babandede, encouraged them to maximize the knowledge of ICT to uplift the standard of the service among other sister agencies by complementing each other.
It's not enough to train somebody. The training must have impact on the community, and the community must feel it and say, look, this one is different from what he was before.
The issue of insecurity, the challenges we face on our borders, called for a very sound training.
Booker and his likes are of the view that training and retraining are critical to bringing out the best productivity in any workforce. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Elizabeth in Abuja.
Thank you, Amina. As part of the Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed's engagement in Washington, D.C., United States, he met with some U.S.-based think tank organizations who have the capacity to influence global policies and help nations around the world address their peculiar challenges. Anthony Forson has details.
One of the organizations visited by the Information and Culture Minister is the United States Institute of Peace, created by Congress in 1984. The institute is into conflict prevention and resolution by engaging directly in such conflict zones. A non-partisan and independent organization, it has remained a global resource base in the pursuit of peace around the world. Ambassador Johnny Carson, senior advisor to the Institute, with rapt attention, listened to his guest, Lai Mohammed, reading out the present administration in Nigeria's achievement under President Muhammadu Buhari, saying Nigeria has never witnessed massive infrastructural development, as is the case since 2015, but was quick to note that there are challenges which borders on insecurity. Again, he stressed the federal government is tackling it head-on. Worthy of note equally is Nigeria's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. He said Nigeria is not resting on its oars despite the low cases and fatalities being recorded. With the determination by Nigeria to contain the pandemic, the minister solicited for global support for Nigeria given its size and population. Ambassador Carson later took the guests round the Institute's facilities and assured the minister that the Institute's doors are open for Nigeria to take advantage of the immense benefits for a sustainable development and growth.
But it's my great pleasure to have the minister here. We recognize the work that he is responsible for doing in Nigeria, and it's a good opportunity to have an exchange, as we have had, across a broad number of subjects this afternoon. We had a very good and productive conversation about a broad number of social, economic, and security issues related to Nigeria. It was a very broad and full and frank exchange of views, and a friendly one as well.
To me, the most important takeaways is the offer by His Excellency that I should come back here to address a wider, cross-section of opinion leaders and opinion molders. And I'm so glad that I instantly, took the offer, and I hope to be here very soon.
Vice President and Director of Africa Center of the Atlantic Council, John Peter Pham, also met with Lai Mohammed. Even though their meeting was held behind closed doors, their engagement bordered on the state of affairs in Nigeria. Still in Washington, the minister was at the U.S. State Department. There, he also had a closed-door meeting with Matthew Lipshohob, the Acting Assistant Secretary for Education and Cultural Affairs. The meeting was rounded up with the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding between Nigeria and the United States concerning the imposition of importation restriction on categories of archaeological and ethnological materials from Nigeria. In Washington, D.C., Anthony Forson, NTA News.
For an update on resident doctor strike in the country, Sarafina Okun-Umwekwe is standing by with the latest. Sarafina, over to you.
The National Industrial Court of Nigeria, Abuja, filed an ex parte motion Monday, the 23rd of August 2021, ordering all the striking doctors across the Federation to go back to work and stop all forms of hostility till September 15th. But the leadership of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors say they will not act until their legal head advises.
Every time doctors are leaving, every time nurses are leaving, every time pharmacists are leaving. And then we are talking about this COVID era where health workers are not being paid or being paid properly. The allowances, the COVID allowances are not being paid. So what that is fighting for is very, very important. I don't think it's actually a big deal that people that are working should be paid. Like we're actually being faced with different kind of infections right now. And does anybody really care about the health workers? Nobody really cares about them. So for us to go on strike, it's not because we love it. It's because that's the only thing that makes the government to have a second thought. Like, I think the government should really look inward and try to find a way to solve the issues with medical practice in Nigeria, because it's becoming very depressing.
Studio, over to you.
Thank you, Sarafina. And still on health, the federal government has expressed concerns over the alarming rate of cholera outbreak, which claimed more than 900 lives so far. Onenge Fainface reports.
Data from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, indicates that Nigeria has recorded 33,661 cases of cholera disease in 22 states, including the Federal Capital Territory, as at August 10, 2021. 938 fatalities have been reported so far, with Zamfara, Bauchi, Kano, Gombe, Plateau, Niger, and the FCT witnessing daily increases in the number of new cases. Cholera is said to be a sanitation and hygiene-enabled disease. The federal government's introduction of National Environmental Sanitation Response Intervention on Cholera Outbreak is aimed at containing spread of the disease by promoting clean environments and hygiene practices.
Citizens are advised to imbibe good sanitation and hygiene practices and take preventive and control measures such as keeping the environment clean, ensuring the use of clean and safe water, washing hands regularly with soap and running water, especially at critical moments such as after using the toilet, Also avoiding open defecation, cooking food well, keeping it covered before eating, and also eating it hard whenever possible. Disposing waste regularly and at designated collection centers.
Components of the response include sanitary inspection of residential areas, food business premises, schools, and surveillance of hotspots in affected communities, among others. Onengiye Fine Face, NTA News.
Adamawa State Government has confirmed the delivery of 72,000 doses of Moderna COVID-19 vaccines. This was made known during the official flag off ceremony of the first round of maternal, newborn and child health week campaign in COVID-19 second phase vaccination exercise held at a community in Adamawa State. Simon Asha reports.
The second phase of Moderna COVID-19 vaccine is to consolidate on the successes already gained in containing the effect of COVID-19 pandemic in the society.
We have done a lot even before the vaccines came. So just recently, people have been coming to us asking us when will the vaccine be available. Now the vaccines are available. This kudos to our community mobilization effort.
Second phase, therefore, is targeted at reaching rural dwellers, especially people from 18 years and above. Hence, flag off of the exercise in one of the rural communities in Adamawa State, the party to be precise.
I was convinced to get vaccinated through media campaigns. I will make sure all members of my household are not left out. We appreciate the government for considering us at this critical moment.
On cholera outbreak, the state government confirmed that 7 out of the 21 local government areas of the state are bedeviled with the disease.
We thought with a total of 73 infected patients. But luckily enough for Adamawa, we've only had about 3 cases of deaths.
The government, however, called on the general public to avoid open defecation and maintain good personal hygiene for the betterment of the society. In Yola, Simon Asha, NTA News.
Time now to stop over in Lagos, where Adeola is standing by with some reports for us on Nationwide. Hello, Adeola.
Hello, Elizabeth. The current security challenges in the country requires reorientation of officers at all levels, as there is a need for multidimensional skills to effectively manage the situation. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu said this at the 2021 opening ceremony of a 4-day operations cadre of the Nigerian Army 81 Division in Lagos. Diana Ajali reports.
As the fight against insecurity continues, the Nigerian Army is not relenting in ensuring that the menace is brought to the barest minimum. This has informed training and retraining of its officers and men, as well as collaborating with other security agencies for enhanced performance. The latest is the capacity building training for 120 officers, with the theme enhancing multi-agency cooperation in contemporary security environment. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu commended the Nigerian Army for the efforts and approach in addressing the identified gaps in the protection of lives and property in the country.
The security challenges currently being faced in Nigeria are brought to 4 existing gaps in the approaches and in our various responses. We must, however, see this gap as opportunity to reassess our security strategies and solutions.
General Officer Commanding 81 Division, Major General Lawrence Fejoku says the aim is to improve professional efficiency and harmonious relationship between the Nigerian Army and other stakeholders in addressing all forms of internal security.
The whole idea of this training is to continuously build on what we have on ground, so as ensuring that we keep this area free and safe for people to go about their normal business.
The training had in attendance participants from the military and paramilitary domain. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
The federal government is determined to ensure consistent and timely preparation, submission and approval of annual budgets as part of its public financial management reforms. Director General Budget Office of the Federation, Ken Akabweze, made this submission at the 2022 Budget Preparation Training for MDAs in Lagos. Abolade Salami reports.
Nigeria's 2020-2021 budget was passed in a record time of 2020 financial year for the full implementation of both capital and recurrent expenditure. In aligning with timely preparation and submission of the 2022 budget, the Budget Office of the Federation has commenced training of relevant ministries, departments and agencies of government based on the Government Integrated Financial Management Information System and Budget Preparation Subsystem for quick submission. Director General Budget Office Ben Akabweze says is also intended to be in tandem with extant federal government policies and guidelines as articulated in the 2020 federal government budget core circular.
We expect right on the heels of this training for the MDA officials to upload their budgets. The budget call circular has been issued, and we expect that by the 3rd of September, all the budgets will be uploaded, which will enable us meet, Mr. President's, timeline.
While it's been observed that ministries, departments and agencies do not study the budget core circular in details to avoid mistakes, the Budget Office says much attention will be directed to understanding key items and sections to note in the 2020 federal government budget core circular.
It's important that all participants digest the budget call circular and take the opportunity of this training to ask questions.
4,000 participants involved in budget preparation from 900 ministries, departments and agencies will be trained across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
And those are the reports from Lagos. Elizabeth, is back to you.
Thank you, Adeola. Oil gas experts have again described the Petroleum Industry Act as a step in the right direction as it addresses critical concerns in the petroleum industry. Group Managing Director of NNPC, Melekiari, is optimistic that the act will consolidate on various efforts of the federal government to improve the living standard of the host communities. Ekemini Williams reports.
Petroleum Industry Act has attracted considerable commendation and some criticisms since it was signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari. But what has not been in contention is that it has introduced a seismic change in the industry and enhanced its prospects. Experts say the law has great potential to reposition Nigeria's oil and gas industry and attract investors from across the globe, among many other benefits. They, however, stressed the need for fidelity in its implementation.
And we expect, therefore, that there's going to be a populated terrain of trust funds. And these are to be managed by the oil companies themselves. The PIA did not make provision for community representatives, host community representatives, NDDC representatives.
The host communities will participate fully in these trusts.
That is the key reason why the host community fund is created in the first instance, so that every community where the operation takes place, that is where the spills takes place, that is where the risks takes place, that those communities must have an established fund that will take care of their needs.
Dr. Timothy Okun, a petroleum industry expert, says gas projects must be beneficial to host communities by providing employment, among other benefits, to mitigate the risk of pipeline vandalism, among others. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
Away from oil and gas, putting an end to a system under which people are treated as property to be bought and sold, forced to work against their will from the time of capture, purchase or birth, is a major advancement in human history. This was the line of thought of speakers at the 2021 International Day for the Remembrance of the Slave Trade and its Abolition, held in Abuja. Adebola Broxton Sunday reports.
Igwedo Christian is one of the victims of modern-day slavery. He said he was stalked in Libya for about 2 years, hoping to cross over to Europe before he was rescued by the federal government of Nigeria.
Of irregular migration or trafficker is a potential trafficker or a smuggler.
So the government, CSOs, NGOs, they need to invest more on these victims.
He joined other key players at an event organized by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture in collaboration with other parastatals and UNESCO to mark this year's International Day for the Remembrance of Slave Trade and its abolition.
I wish to task the media organizations to ensure the message is sustained so as to create the needed national awareness.
China is ready to work with Nigeria and other member countries to fight against modern-day slavery.
Julie Oka-Donley, as the keynote speaker at this event, extraced some of the strategies used by traffickers.
Somebody walks up to you and says, look, I can give you a good job somewhere. They're already recruiting you. Then, of course, they transfer you. Then they harbor you somewhere before somebody else receives you.
Modern-day slavery, a national question, protecting the future generation, is the theme for this year's celebration. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
Thank you, Adebola, for that enlightening report. For more reports on Nationwide, let's join Abubakar in our Maiduguri studio. Hello, Abubakar.
Hello, Elizabeth. It's always good to see you. 2,000 engaged in small have benefited from a business stabilization support amounting to over 172 million naira, organized by United Nations Development Program, UNDP, and Borno State Government. Borno State Governor, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, who was represented at the flag-off of the disbursement, called on the beneficiaries to use the empowerment for economic stabilization. Here are more details of the story.
The whole essence of the Business Stabilization Support Program, a brainchild of United Nations Development Program, is to further consolidate on ongoing resettlement and recovery drive of government through revival of business for self-employment, creation of confidence in governance among the populace, discouraging radicalization of youths and negative ideologies such as insurgency. Flagging off the financial support program on behalf of Professor Babagana Umara, Special Advisor on Special Project Monitoring to Borno State Governor Engineer Lawan Abbawe Kilby, described the intervention as a life-changing initiative that will address series of societal challenges and praised UNDP for collaborating with Borno State Government in achieving one of its development agenda. Speaking on how the funds were disbursed, Managing Director, Borno Renaissance Microfinance Bank, Associate Professor Ibrahim Bello Alhaji said 40,000 naira was given to 200 persons under existing businesses, while 2,000 persons under new businesses got 80,000 naira each, with all the beneficiaries strictly from Banki.
We have already, over the last 3 days of the disbursement, resumed their normal business activities. They are seen moving into the neighboring Cameroon and coming out and moving all over the town, going about their normal businesses.
He further explained that all the beneficiaries have been given requisite training in addition to meeting the criteria for disbursement before receiving the grant. The managing director added that the 2,000 new businesses have a balance of 40,000 naira each in their account, which can be withdrawn through bank transfer or at the Borno Renaissance Microfinance Bank, Maiduguri.
Let's now focus our attention concerning the environment. The 4-week fumigation of drainages and waterways embarked upon by Borno State Government to sanitize areas considered as breeding grounds for diseases has successfully been progressing. Chetwa John Jesney has an update.
Adequate germicide and machineries have been provided by government to fumigate not only the state capital, but even some local government areas across the state. The need for the fumigation exercise was informed by the outbreak of cholera, as already reported in 22 states of the Federation this month, and other diseases. Some residents who are appreciative of the proactive measure taken by the government says they have already been observing significant reduction in mosquitoes and other pests in their areas.
Sun dame amma yanzu dai tunda aka fara wannan feshin
an samu sauki gaskiya.
Mun gode masa saboda gyara da ya mana, ya rage mana wahalhalu da kwalbati, faduwa ga cututtuka ga sauro ga cholera yanzu ana nan ana fama akan shi.
Because we have scheduled a timetable for each ward having a sun. So within a couple of weeks or so, we will be able to achieve our mandate, inshallah.
Leading the fumigation exercise, Commissioner overseeing the Environment Ministry, Barrister Kakashe Ulon, sought the cooperation of the public for the success of the program.
My expectation is to fully cooperate with us. Some of these substances are dangerous, so they should stay away when the fumigation is on. It will not maximum of 15-20 minutes is over, so they can go back to their normal businesses.
Residents are hopeful that at the end of the fumigation exercise being carried out by Borno State Environmental Protection Agency, less cases of malaria and other diseases will be experienced. In Maiduguri, Jedwa John Jessini, NTA News.
You're on to Nationwide on Africa's window to the world. That's talking about the Nigerian Television Authority. Let's take another break now to join Larry in Ibadan for more reports for us.
A new edition of TV Guide is out exclusively with Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State.
Since assuming office, our rescue administration has pursued the path of peace and reconciliation and restored confidence among people of different ethnic, religious, and political persuasions. Peace is back on the plateau. We are building world-class infrastructure in roads and opening up opportunities for innovation.
The edition is a compendium of mind-blowing stories for your reading pleasure, ranging from entertainment, economy, sports, media, politics, family, and lots more. Pick up a copy and keep abreast with issues and trending features within our space. TV Guide, very incisive, very educative and compelling. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or any NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
This present government has done a lot on the train modernization. They came in and completed the Abuja Kaduna, and we have 9 stations there, 5 stopping stations and 4 crossing stations, making 9. And when we started in 2016, we started with 2 trips, then we later moved on to 8 trips, and we are talking about moving to 14 trips a day, and we have been able to send 10 DMUs, 10 coaches, and 2 locomotives new. We have 12 stations on the Takbere line. It's about 312 kilometer length of track, and it's over 35 years old. And the government came and took it up, finished the track, built modern stationing, and the stations are finished. Working on the signaling. We all hope to start the commercial operation by the end of September.
Fresh off a 5-0 thrash